Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Brendan O'Brien Show special edition. I know when I was on the air last week, I said that I am not going to be on. I lied to you, and I need to apologize to that. Because what's really happening is we're doing a special edition today, which I'm really excited about. I do a podcast. I haven't really talked too much about it on the radio show, but it's out there. I do a podcast with my good friend Chris Thurston.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen.
He's here in our recording studio, a.k.a. my apartment. And tonight, we're going to be doing a little bit of what we call the OBT show. It's a podcast that Chris and I do, and it's about video games. It's about nerdy stuff. What else is it about, Chris?
We do movies and comics, and we talk about the beer that we drink sometimes.
Sometimes. But we haven't really done that in a long time. That was sort of the novelty of it up front, and then now we just don't do any of that.
Because now we know each other.
We know each other now. I mean, it's not awkward.
We're comfortable.
Water is fine.
Next time I'm showing up in PJs.
We're going to get our Snuggies out, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. But tonight, again, special, very cool thing that WFNP is doing, 88.7 FM for those listening on the regular old radio, WFNP.org for those of you who are listening online, and no call-in numbers because this is pre-recorded. Sorry, you can't call in. But next week, I will be back on air regular. But for tonight, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So again, if you're listening in for sports, turn it off. Sorry. I'm a Renaissance man. I'm well-developed in many different areas, and tonight I'm going to show you a little bit and let you hear the conversations Chris and I have all the time, and we post it on YouTube. What's the address for that again, Chris?
YouTube.com/user/the-OBT show.
Awesome. We are also on Podomatic website. It's very difficult to find us on there, so just go to Podomatic, type OBT show, and take it from there.
It'll pop up then.
It'll pop up. And we're on Twitter and we're on Facebook as well. So, big gaming news that came out. This is being recorded on a Thursday. It was yesterday, the February 20th. Was PlayStation 4 was announced. And Chris and I are both big-time gamers, big-time into our systems. Chris, you have multiple systems, right?
I thought we were going to do a reading of War of the Worlds. So I saw paperwork in front of me. And
this is the first time we've actually produced something on the show. Normally we just sit down, we're like, what do you want to talk about?
We're going to talk about video games.
And then we'll just go from there. But seeing as how this is on the radio and I normally produce my own show, I figured let me produce and give us a little bit of notes. And let's try and be professionals. So Chris, I know it seems very uncomfortable with this context.
I've already set my notes on fire.
Chris has stormed out. I've tried to bring him back in. He's going to stay for as long as he can.
I have it all committed to memory. I'm in disgust, so it makes it easier to remember things.
PlayStation 4. You saw the announcement, right?
Yeah,
you watched it live.
The guest-to-be 1 hour conference that was 2 hours long, and I actually fell asleep during part of it.
It is very hard because I watched some of the stuff, and I watched maybe a clip or two, but it was so boring.
Oh my god!
Because it's a giant promotional tool for Sony, first of all, and that's what it. And they're telling you they're not going to tell you any of the flaws. Obviously, they want to tell you just enough to get you peaked, and then you're going to want to eventually buy it. Which they say it's coming holiday 2013.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely coming out this year. It has to. They're not going to make any money if they don't.
No, and some of the big features I'm referring to are professional notes. Oh, right. It says system supports seamless uploads of gameplay. You'll be able to have real-time sessions with your friends that you can. Your friends. This was a weird thing for me. Your friends can watch you play. Do you know what exactly? I missed this part.
It's basically like you're creating a live stream from the system. Like where on the computer you can hook up a special box and play your video games and live stream through the internet. Well, now you can do it right through your game system, cutting out computers completely, and you're on the internet, and then people can join your live stream and watch you play and give you commentary if you allow it.
I find that odd.
I mean, I've just started getting into live streams and watching them on YouTube. They're pretty interesting. It gives you the like, I like to watch recorded videos and stuff, but I can't say oh man, I'm gonna turn around real quick because there's something that you're gonna miss and it's important. And then I'm just still mad about it the entire time I'm watching this clip. But now what people have the ability to do is you're gonna be like, I'm gonna show you a tutorial on this map, and you can have a whole bunch of people watching you, and then they can ask questions or give their own version of tips as they're somebody's going through it.
But for me, it's almost like the backseat driver, so to speak, where and the way they described it was your friend can literally jump in at any moment and start critiquing you or telling you, do this. Like, I think in theory, I like the concept of my friends being able to comment. That's kind of cool, like offer encouragement. I don't see any of my friends encouraging me.
Oh, they're going to be yelling at you.
I see them yelling at me saying, "You made a terrible mistake.
Noob.
Go back." Exactly. or any stream of curse words that pop up on these websites and on these games. Normally we don't work as clean as we are tonight, obviously, but
that's my safe word.
That's your safe word.
I feel like I'm going to say something
I know.
bad.
We have a safe word. But the other parts of this Sony thing is the confirmed that it's going to be powered by a custom 8-core Jaguar x86-64. No idea what that means. Do you know what that means?
All of this stuff is just basically saying it's like a PC.
It's like a PC, which is a big change from previous iterations where it wasn't necessarily based off a PC model, correct?
Yeah, no, the PlayStation 3, they made a special chip for it, the Cell chip, and they even commented on it in the conference saying, like, you know, what we did was really cool, and it was different, and it had a lot of power. However, we're going to do like what Xbox is doing, make it more programmer friendly, so make it like a computer there, where that way, you know, games are easier to make, they come out faster.
And then it says that it also has 8 gigs of dedicated memory, making it competitive with most gaming PCs on the market. And it expected that's going to ship with Blu-ray, which you made a funny point before we started recording.
Yeah, Blu-ray is still slower than DVD. I mean, it's a great. I mean, I feel like they made advancements with DVD where they're saying, like, you know, you can write 2 or 3 layers of information on one disc.
Right.
And Blu-ray's got all that extra space, but they got to be able to, you know, speed up the process because, I mean, yeah, some Xbox games come out with 3 DVDs, but some of the load times on Xbox are way lower than they are on PlayStation.
And then they talk about the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, HDMI, analog AV, optical digital input, and it says Sony's giving it I/O options and a boost with the inclusion of USB 3.0 ports and a mysteriously vague aux port. What does that mean to you when you see mysteriously vague auxiliary? I don't know why they're hinting at that.
Maybe you can plug in your iPod and play music through your games.
Maybe, but I think it was just weird the way they described it. A mysterious aux port.
Well,
because they never showed the box either in this thing.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite things with the original Xbox was I could load up my music onto it, and I would be playing racing games and playing my music that I had on my hard drive through my games. So maybe it's just like another way to add entertainment through the system, because they're mainly entertainment boxes. The PlayStation's trying to market themselves right now as, we're all about the games, we don't want to get in the way of games. By the way, we have a share button. We're all about the games, everything's going to be really, really game friendly. By the way, everything's going to look like Facebook, and we copied Xbox hardcore, but it's really about the games.
Well, that's what they keep saying too. Like, that was their messaging was, it's not about the system, it's about the gamer.
The gamer's important here.
But they're important to the point where we want you to use Facebook and we want you to do all these things. It was just, I agree with you. It was very like, we're going to do everything that Xbox has already done.
Yeah.
And we're catching up. Sorry, but this is what's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, and then PlayStation's strong. It's got its strong suits. The thing that I really, really liked that they announced was the ability to preload games. So let's say you go into the PlayStation Network and you want to buy a game, but you're reading the description of it first. You're looking at a couple videos that they have posted on there, some pictures and screenshots or whatever, and you're like, all right, I'm sold. I really want to play this. When you buy it, they have the game preloading as you are doing your own little personal research. Yeah. So that way, the second you buy it, you start playing it. It is there, ready to go.
It is kind of weird that it's going to start to adopt what it knows you like and download a few titles so that you can start if you like it, you can start downloading while you're playing.
That's the scary part.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of the ability to do that. The scary part is that they will predict games that you are going to buy based on the way you play and have them ready to go so that way when you want to spend the money.
It's going to be weird. Like they want but you know what? I guess not, because when you go online now, all that is logged. All that is categorized for you and personalized in some places. Like Facebook does that too, where they promote ads that are based on what you like or suggest pages. So it's not so much that I think for me that it was a shocking discovery, but it's more like, wow, everything I own is now being permeated by this technology, and they're going to know me better than some of my exes and my family.
Well, and you're also talking about a network that got super hacked last year.
Right.
So that kind of makes me nervous that they're going to be doing all of this work trying to predict stuff. I would be happy if they said, we're fortifying our defenses.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have to worry about putting your credit card on the PlayStation Network.
Yeah. It's weird. And I mean, and again, too, the other aspect that is annoying, and we've had conversations like this before on our podcast, it's not backward compatible now because with
Nope.
the PC chips, so it won't be able to play games created for any of the other 3 previous PlayStations, even though they will have a Blu-ray disc drive just like the PS3. Instead, Sony said gamers will have to stream older games to the PlayStation 4 through the internet. AKA, you're going to have to buy it again if you want to play it.
Yeah, even if you downloaded, the way they have it phrased now, even if you downloaded PlayStation 3 games, like on the internet, now you don't even have the retail CD, it will still, you'll have to repay for it. I mean, I'm sure that they're going to try to, and they said like it depends on if they can emulate the games, because that's the way they have to do it.
Right.
Everything's emulation. So if they could emulate it with the games that are available to download now, they'll be okay, and it'll save them a little face. But that's bad.
That's really bad. I mean, I don't understand. It's 2013. It's not. Why is it so difficult to have backwards compatibility?
I mean, they pretty much outlined it by the technology.
I know, but
they went from cell to no. Let's make it.
I'm being selfish.
Yeah, you're being selfish.
I'm being a jerk.
You're full of kerfuffle.
I just want, and it drives me nuts that they still can't figure this out. When it used to be something that was so easy. PlayStation 2, of course we can play PlayStation 1 games on it. Not a problem. Like, it wasn't even an issue. And then all of a sudden, PlayStation 3 comes out, sorry guys, not going to be able to do it, even though it's using the same technology.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I like that they're going to be doing the emulation, but that's something that they really should have made a big push for. I know people that have just bought their PlayStation this year, PlayStation 3, and they're like, I just spent a couple $100 on a system, and now
it's
you're
obsolete.
telling me I mean, yeah, you can keep playing it, and they're still going to be making, PS3 games and Xbox 360 games, for at least a couple years, but you want to have one system. You want to have one thing plugged in, and you want to go to one place. That's why I'm hoping, like, when Xbox makes their announcement, hopefully that they do that, because that'll be their saving grace.
Again,
at least for money making.
It will be for money making, but I mean, for a lot of this stuff too. I mean, the controller changes. They're getting rid of the start and select buttons, which for me is a sad time. I love that. It's standard. Now they're going in favor of share and options. The share button is going to be used to access the PlayStation 4's new social features, such as live video streaming, speculator modes. That just sounds creepy. I'm going into speculator mode. I'm just going to stare at a random dude.
I feel like people can understand my emotion if I just stare at the mic really, really hard and shake my head. I don't understand that.
I don't get that either. And then they're all going to have PlayStation Network profiles. And the functionality of the new options button, however, is likely to be simply that of in-game menu access, similar to the prior purpose of the start button.
I think they're doing that to, like, rope in the younger generation or whatever that are more, surrounded with the share friendliness, I guess, of the internet and video gaming. I don't share my stuff on Xbox or like when I'm playing video games unless it's really, really, really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
And I feel like people are going to spam stuff now. It's going to be like,
look, most definitely.
I lifted a tree in this game. Watch my video.
Well, that's what David Perry, the co-founder of the Sony-owned internet game company, who's discussing social networking and remote access. With one button, you can broadcast video of your gameplay so friends can look over your shoulder virtually. Weird. You are being weird.
No, I mean, that's cool. That is a cool thing, because to do it now, it's more of a process. They're making it streamlined, which that's a really neat thing. The one thing that I've noticed that they haven't really said anything about was your streams. They are very solely Ustream related,
right?
With what they said in the conference, but they mentioned nothing about YouTube, where you can stream stuff live, and I think that's a huge one. They just we made deals with Bungie and we made deals with Blizzard, but we forgot about Google, and Google's pretty big.
I know, right? I don't know. I mean, there was a little bit of a pushback, and I sent you an article right before. I don't know if you got a chance to read it right before we came over.
I read the end
part, where it makes a funny point where all the basic gist of the conference was, thank God for PlayStation 4, because we can't go any further than what we've got with now. And it was almost saying, a multi-billion-dollar industry that makes hand-over-fist money on people spending money on games basically said, your current system is terrible, and thank God you're gonna have to pay more for it. Mm-hmm. And it made a good point that it's not so much that gamers are looking for a new system every 5 to 6 years that's going to solve the problems of the gaming industry. It's more that they want to be integrated in the sense that an iPad is, where you can do a lot of different things, or your PC is integrated. So It seems to be missing the point of then having these new systems with better graphics, better hardware, better polygons and shapes. It's like, okay, but what else are you doing for me? Because I'm still having the same experience pretty much and you're shoehorning in social network and all these other gadgets that I can get on an iPad without spending the estimated $500 to $600 they're looking at for this.
More, faster and prettier. That's pretty much that they're trying to sell you right now.
I know, but then it's not. But I'm wondering, I think Microsoft has an opportunity here to really integrate the full system. We talked about this before, but like not just a gaming system, which PlayStation seems to be stuck in that mentality of this is a gaming system first. I don't think you can survive with that mentality.
Not anymore, no, because you're making it more and more. I mean, okay, not more and more difficult for them to do it. They're actually trying to make it easier for them to do the games, but since there is so much more that is involved in production costs, stuff like that, the big games aren't going to be coming out as frequently. That's the way I look at it.
Right.
So I'm hoping that the way Xbox has been doing it is making it more so, okay, yes, you've got the games, and we're going to make it more friendly for you to do entertainment, and make it your living room. Your living room is now the Xbox.
I know, but it's still just such an odd thing for them to be stuck on that old mentality. And for a company that is struggling financially, the PS Vita is not doing well. They did barely. They kind of glazed over that with the PlayStation 4. Like, it integrates seamlessly. Please buy it.
Yeah, no price drop, but please buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's old technology. By
price drop in Japan, not here.
Yeah, not here.
But which makes no sense. And again, if you want to have us as consumers shell out that much money for a system that's new, and then you're telling us use our PS Vita too, that's another $300-$400. That's nuts.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I like the way they did it though, because you have the Wii U, you play the games in your hand, and it's got the touchpad.
Right.
So that's their way of competing with Nintendo in that sense, because then they make it multifaceted. However, it's still going to be a 2-year-old piece of technology once the new PlayStation comes out. It came out last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I know. I get frustrated. You know how I am.
Sony doesn't know what they're doing, I don't think. Somebody was sitting there. Did you hear the conference? They said that Sony was the best, or the PlayStation 3 was the best for Netflix.
No, it's terrible for Netflix.
I was like, and that's why it came out 6 months late?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so. And one of the articles that says, that gaming sales itself fell 22% in 2012. And with the launch of PS4, that Sony is trying to find people that might, again, have shifted toward more social networking, video games, and iPad and stuff like that. But Forrester analyst James McQuivey said Sony's missing the point by building what amounts to an upgraded PS3. Quote, Sony believes the future will be like the past and has built the game console to prove it. Tablets and smartphones now engage more people and more minutes of gaming than consoles will ever achieve. And that is true. You are literally carrying your phone with you and your tablet all the time. Yeah. Your PlayStation 4, your Xbox, whatever new one, that's going to be your Wii U. That stays in your home. That's a very small percentage of time for people who have active lifestyles.
Exactly. You got free-to-play games in your pocket all the time. And it's $60 a pop for a PlayStation game. I mean, if it's a good one, and if you're an avid gamer, that's not a number that you're going to scoff at. But for the new incoming group, they're going to go, oh, I can play Angry Birds on my PC through Facebook for free, and I don't have to pay anything, and I can know what my friends are doing too for nothing.
I know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. And again, some of the games they announced: Diablo 3, Drive Club, Final Fantasy on PlayStation 4. Watch Dogs, Witcher 3, Witness. I mean, at least they have something to go with instead of like Wii U had like 3 games to start with.
Did you watch the Watch Dogs trailer?
Yes, I've seen it before. It's awesome.
Oh my god, it's beautiful.
It's good.
It's beautiful.
It didn't change my mind either.
A man walked down the street. This is the trailer. He's just walking along, no mission. Yeah. He's just playing the game by being in the game. And an NPC walks by. That's a non-playable character for people who don't know. Walks by, sneezes.
Yeah.
When is a character in a game done something that's human-like?
I know, right? It's kind of funny.
So he just walks by, sneezes. He's walking around. He can scan people's information with his super hacker technology. Steals from $100,000 tobacco supporter and goes to the ATM, takes money. Like,
it is kind of cool.
It was beautiful too, and they made it look so good, so fluid, and it's a whole city.
I know. Well, all right, because I forgot we have to take a break too around the 20-minute mark, okay. So not a big deal. But final verdict: will you buy it?
No.
Why not?
Okay, take it back. I'll buy it 2 years after it's been out. I'm getting Xbox first.
Done deal. For me, I want to see what Xbox has to offer, and I'll take it from there. We're going to take a very short break and come right back with you on this very special edition of the Brendan O'Brien Show featuring Chris Thurston and the OBT podcast. You're listening to The Edge. Welcome back to the special edition of the Brendan O'Brien Show on 88.7 FM The Edge, WFNP.org. While Chris is here, I got to talk to him about this. I saw this on an online article.
Oh, you did you?
I did research for this show.
He read things.
I read things. Normally, again, I don't. And I can't read.
He's not a reader.
I can't read. But anyway, there was a small little note amongst all the tech blogs and websites about PlayStation 4, a small note about a patent that a website Apple Insider uncovered where it could hint at something called the Apple Watch. And it's slowly turning from rumor to a semi-leaked possible product in development. It describes it as with a flexible display, has Bluetooth, Wi-Fi enabled accessory with a glass touchscreen, and it's perfect for wearing on the wrist. The best part, the part that really got my interest, was that it can best be described as the classic 90s accessory, the slap bracelet.
I remember when this hit the web, I was like, oh no.
So this is the detail for it. It's in the first equilibrium position, it can be flat. So you can hold it as if it's like an iPhone, right? And then the second position is typically reached by slapping the flat embodiment across the wrist, at which point the bracelet curls around the wrist and stays relatively secure. Doesn't convince me when they use the word relatively secure. In a roughly circular position. The patent described that when the bracelet is worn, it can take advantage of a flexible, they're calling a mold display, making the whole system continuous around a user's wrist. And to accommodate different wrist sizes, the patent includes a feature for the system that would take advantage of smart sensors to turn off part of the system if it overlaps. Meaning for those of us with tiny wrists, it won't destroy your battery power if you're covering part of your app. This is awesome to me. I want this yesterday. You are not convinced at all about this. This is great. I want it. This is the future, man. We're so close to shooting lasers out of our wrists.
I'm cool with the fact that flexible displays are finally, getting more of a push. That's a cool thing that they've been showing for the past, I think 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
Every year they got more and more flexible and
Yes.
more and more resolution and more, but it's not being implemented so much. I want to have a newspaper that I can hold in my hands, or a magazine that's just completely digital paper that changes with the days. I pay $400 and my subscription lasts for a year, and when I turn the page, it's got digital
So
stuff.
you want to go backwards? You want to go back to old-timey papers?
No. I just
feel of the old-timey paper.
But for that, the flexible displays to be more encompassed, I guess you could say.
Okay.
I want to see it used a lot, so that way it can happen with things like this, because the way that what they're doing is not going to be affordable to the average person. That's not going to be something that the average person is going to be able to buy.
Well, here's the thing. People drop their phone constantly. People break their phone, and that is something you primarily keep in your pocket when it's not in your hand. How are you going to go by one day, with this thing strapped to your wrist and not have it be shattered and destroyed?
Super glue. Well, I mean, okay, so Nokia had a concept a few years ago. I'm going to say 5 or 6 years ago. And basically what it was they want to incorporate nanotechnology into devices, so that way it will have physical memory. So that way you could swipe to unlock, and it would allow you to bend things. And then when you swipe to lock it, it would remember the shape that it's supposed to be in. This is just it's a piece of glass that's in a
Stop
permanent
it. You're
mold.
hurting my heart. This is awesome. I'm so bummed out. When I saw this, I thought you were going to be into it.
No.
I want this so bad.
No, what I want Google Glass. I think that's amazing. I think that's the next step of technology, having heads-up displays wherever you go, constantly giving you information, GPS, taking pictures, taking video. That's all really cool stuff. This is, I can wear a watch.
No, I want this, because in my mind, I'm already flash forwarding to it being awesome, where I can go boop, and then my door on my car opens up. I'm seeing the future.
So
in the
are
wrist.
you?
You're already poo-pooing it.
So you're
You poo-pooed all over this.
You're the Buzz Lightyear. I want to have my wrist thing flip open so I can hit
Yes.
the boop boop boops, and I got
Yes.
the laser inside of it. I'm Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z, and I want to have my power level over 9,000 pop up on my
I have
right
no
eye.
idea what you're talking about.
You've never seen Dragon Ball Z?
No.
Oh man, you've never seen the power levels over 9,000?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my goodness, I got to teach Brendan the
All right.
internet.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Basically, in Dragon Ball Z, they have these little indicators that can read the power level of who they're fighting.
Okay.
And the stronger you are, the higher your power level. So but it's a little heads-up display. So the Google Glass is just glasses that have that little tiny screen that give you constant information that you want.
Anybody still listening has tuned out.
No, no, I'm sorry. You can take a picture with it. You can make phone calls with it,
All
and
right.
you don't have to move your hands.
You got me back.
It's so
I'm back into it.
This you still have to interact with.
All I know is I'm probably gonna buy it whenever it comes out.
Yeah,
I
for
don't
the
care
$2
if
grand
I'm
that it's gonna
90.
cost.
I don't care if I'm 90. I'm gonna buy this whenever it comes out.
This won't be affordable for like another 2 years. The technology's cool.
I
It's
will
awesome.
make it affordable.
You-
I'm gonna take a bank loan out.
He's gonna have LEDs, like a strand of LEDs that are beaming like The Simpsons, and strap it to his arm and be like, "Look, it's got TV."
I'm gonna buy 2 of them. My left will be my day-to-day monitoring my weather channel. My right will be for entertainment.
Did you ever see the internet video of the guy that had he made a LED jacket, and it was like you could put any kind of information through it, and it would play like videos and stuff, but it was just strands and strands and strands of LEDs. I think that's gonna be you.
I'm gonna wear that. There's a wrestler, Chris Jericho, who comes out his entrance in an LED light and just flashes. I want that. I want my entrances to be like that in real life, and then I want also what you just described. I will pay for that.
I bet.
I would strut.
It's
That'd be
cool. I'm
strutting
not going to say
jacket.
it's not cool. Because I like the stuff that's getting put into
Yes.
it. I just wouldn't spend the money that they're going to ask you to pay for that. I would spend $1,200 buying Google Glass because that is the future. That's hands free and it's in your face.
All right. Well, Google Glass, and they had that video come out too again, where you can see, and it looks cool. That looks like someone's going to die from that because
I'm
it's.
giving Brendan the eyebrows.
I know you are, but you put the glasses on, and then you can't see anything because, in my mind, I'm seeing people getting hit by cars, focusing on what's on the glass.
It's a piece of glass that's like, I'm going to say no bigger than a small eraser. It's about an inch long, and it's going to sit in the corner of your vision. So it's something that you won't necessarily be blocking anything that you're looking at.
People are going to get hit by cars. End of story. Well, we got to wrap it up for now. This was fun, right?
This is. I did radio a couple years ago. But
Yeah.
This is. I feel like I'm back.
You're back, baby. Now, once again, where can you find us on the podcast?
If you want to go to Podomatic, you can go to Podomatic and you can look up the OBT show. If you go to YouTube, you do youtube.com/users/the OBT show. I think it's user or users. Who knows?
Figure it out.
Trial and error, folks. And if you go to facebook.com/the OBT show, that'll be our Facebook page where we have everything already linked on there.
It's a good time. So thank you for listening. For those of you who are out there, thank you to Mac for producing this as always. And my name is Brendan O'Brien. I'll be back with sports next week. Don't you worry, on 88.7 FM. You're listening to The Edge.